What is up, everyone? This will be my Nocturne jungle video, and I'm gonna go over everything you need to know on how to play Nocturne jungle. So Nocturne jungle, I've been really enjoying a few builds right now, mostly going lethal tempo with domination second, and also going into stride breaker slash, more of a collector build. You can also go into cleaver second if you prefer that one. Also, if you don't like lethal tempo, you can go conquer. That is also very acceptable. But for me personally, I really enjoy lethal tempo. Also, for Nocturne, I think he's a really good jungler. I think he's really easy to pick up. Also think he's really good into comps that rely heavily on CC, like the enemy team we play against. This game, we have Karthus jungle, Gragas top, Zed mid, Ashe and Alistar bot lane. So you can see the enemy team has a lot of CC, and the enemy jungle is the Karthus. So that's a very good matchup for Nocturne, because Nocturne spell shield, obviously incredible against, incredible against something like, Karthus ulti or even one of his Qs. And Nocturne just really good into, really heavy CC comps. Like I can W spell shield, Ashe arrow, I can do so many things as well. So it's a really good game. So when I look at the enemy comp, I'm really happy about that. And a lot of range champions I can easily get on and gap close. So from there on, I just want to make sure I can full clear and get my farm going. In this situation, Karthus ward my jungle early level 1. He has exhaust, but also has no flash. So that's sort of like a red flag. That means like he seems a bit interested in maybe doing like a cheesy invade. But also he could just want to have like watches on me to see what my path is. So in general, if I'm able to catch on him with a flash into an E, I think it's a kill. So what I'm going to do is put a point in E. And here we're just going to play to farm, maybe do our blue right now if it's up. And just play really slowly around a full clear. So I like to do this sort of maybe like a half full clear where I do my 3 camps here into like a blue. And after the blue, I decide if I want to gank. So you see right away bot lane is fighting. So I think maybe this could look like a good gank opportunity, because these early level 2 fights in bot lane does result in a lot of sort of all-in situations. So here I'm going to go for that. And Ashe is really low. Alistar, I get experience on the kill, which is nice. But Karthus being here is actually really good. So this is just a very easy kill angle with Lulu shield too. I'm gonna flash Q to kill the Ashe as well. I mean, Karthus absolutely bananas here for him to try to do that. Karthus players aren't known for their intelligence. They're known for their barbarian. And being barbaric is a very common Karthus trait, because if they die, they like to die. They're into that shit. And they die a lot. So we always want to be ready to kind of survive afterwards. Like I said, my champion extremely good into a Karthus, into a crowd control comp. And with Nocturne, one thing you need to know is you can't actually Q flash on Nocturne. A lot of mechanics you can do Q and flash, and the Q would be further where you land. But with Nocturne, the Q flash turns into the Q will be casted from where you are. So if I flash this way, for example, my Q will still be casting from here. So you don't want to Q flash. You want to flash then Q on Nocturne. It's stupid because I think it shouldn't be like that, but it just is, right? So here I'm gonna do 2 points into Q and always Q in the direction I'm going from base, because it speeds me up. Karthus is gonna sneak my camps. Raptors, because you solo them, will always be back up at 4 minutes. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to defend that. That's also why you see me not do wolves, is because it's really important not to get your camp stolen like that after these, people like to invade. Here I see he cleared my Raptors, and now he's clearing that. But my Krugs, my second Krugs, are actually the most important part of it. So I'm quite happy that I'm able to get that. You could loop around or something weird, but I'm ready to smite if I see anything. But after the early game, you can see my buy is just so much better than his. And I'm really down to fight. Even Gragas face checking here. I am down to fight. But this Alistar roaming is a bit strange. So we know Alistar left balling to roam tops. I'm thinking, okay, I don't have a job right now. Void Grubs are in 55 seconds. I do want Void Grubs. I also want to see what this Alistar's game plan is. Is he going to dive? Camille has TP. Let's just stay here a bit to see what their plan is, because I do want Void Grubs. So it looks like nothing happens. So what I think happens is Alistar bases and goes bot side. So 30 seconds on Void Grubs. There isn't really much for me to grab right now. That play on Gragas would have been good if there was no Alistar, of course. But judging by the situation, we might have to wait a bit longer for our potential jungle camps. And here it's actually really nice that Karthus wants to do a play here. Karthus has no mana, so I can take my time with him. So what I'm going to do is actually Q and then kind of kite between his Qs. As you can see, you know, no mana. Once he dies, he has his mana back. So you have to watch out for that part. And I'm really happy with that situation. Zed, he flashes, but once you hit them with the Q, the movement speed you're going to get is just very strong. Do we handshake there? I don't like to handshake. Or fist bump. We don't do fist bumps here. I'm not going to fist bump this person. I'm not a fist bumper, man. Game ain't over. Here, Zed is moving, so I have to finish this off really fast. What I'm going to do is actually just hit this and then go. I think I should be fine to go this way after I fear him. Pinging him because I think my team should kill. I do want to swing in and just smite this. It's actually crazy. Karthus wasn't even here. I assumed Karthus was here because of how insane that play was by the Zed. But funny enough, he wasn't even here. So I'm going to do the blue. And I think this will give me level 6. So if I get 6, I can ulti and kill big boy Gragas Poppy up there. And I'm on a really nice position right now because Karthus's respawn is up as well. So I could entertain that. So what I do is I drop a ward here. And then I go for the Gromp here. So I'm going to E it here. And in situations where you're stealing the enemy, like Gromp for example, if you want to be extra safe, you can always go and pull it here. And sort of make a loop around to run away. Or you just stay in this position because if it's warded there, you might get rotated by the top laner. So here now I'm 6, I'm half health. Personally, I think the play on Gragas isn't happening anymore. Plus I have a lot of money that I could spend on items to get me stronger. And usually what I like to do is buy at least tier 1 boots and go into like a phage and plus a dagger buy really nice here. And usually I sit on my yellow trinkets because I don't care for sweeper that much. I'm going to be going blue orb anyways, so it's not really a big deal for me. Personally, I think we could kill with my ulti here, but I would need Cassiopeia to move and she's not moving, so this guy's so low. I'm gonna go for an ulti play here. I think I will reach him in time. Hit her with that, honestly. I really do think I could kill. But I would have to go around here. So I'm going to go around here. I have E coming up. If her flash is down, she's dead. So I'm not going to flash yet. I'm going to flash now because if she flashes... Oh, my fear broke. I was going to say if she flashes, my fear should stay on her. But I wasn't in the perfect position to keep it going. So here we have to juke the Q. So you see me just doing some combos. Oh, so close. Get him, Corky. Lulu. Use the glitter. I don't think Zed wins this. Okay, Corky. Good. I mean, I just had to kind of play around like juking. If I kill Karthus, I die, right? Because Karthus passive would probably kill me because I'm not really mobile enough to get out of it. So I just waited and waited. And also smite to 600. Auto attack will do at least 100 damage. So you can always play around like an auto smite to do 700 damage to the buff to try to one-shot it before he can smite it. And that was the game plan I tried for there. And not bad in general. So here's where Nocturne is really strong. The Stridebreaker. If you watch a lot of my videos, I talk a lot about how to combo on Nocturne. And that's one of the most important things about him is knowing how to combo. And big thing is the Stridebreaker. The reason why it's such a good item on him because you can cast it while you're traveling in your ultimate, right? So you can cast it right before you land, and you can also cast your Q ability right before you land. So your goal is to Stridebreaker and Q them as you're jumping in. And that's really found, you know, fundamental about it. So here if I see Karthus and River, I could ulti and I would 100% kill him. This crab timer tells me, okay, he just finished it. He should be on Gromp right now. Either finishing or just getting it. Unless he did Gromp earlier. Then he should be finishing Wolves. So he should be crossing sides right now. I don't know if I want to fight him though. Because Zed looks pretty easy to kill as well. I have to be a bit cautious about the situation I'm in. I don't know if it's warded or not, but I wouldn't mind chunking here. I do think we can kill. Remember me, please. For my sacrifice. For what I gave to the team. Never forget. If I had spell shit off, obviously it would have been amazing, but honestly not bad because they ended up sending their support. And what happens when your support perma roam and you're winning the fights against enemy support who's perma roaming? Well, the enemy bot laner is going to get destroyed, right? So it's really bad for the enemy team if their support is perma roaming and you're able to win the fights, right? So that's like a huge thing. Your bot lane should, in theory, be getting plates, and Ashe should not be allowed to farm, which it has been happening in this game. It's really not that difficult for your team to be doing that. So us being able to win these fights with the roaming Alistar is really important for the game con. My bot lane is just going to be really fed. They're able to get that first tower. Even though Void Revs are up, I don't think I want to go to it again because I think it's not looking juicy enough right now. Right now, what's looking juicy is maybe a play here where I can help my Lulu. What I want is Karthus here. I'm gonna kill the Alistar first, right? I'm so strong that I'm gonna kill them both, most likely. Lethal Temple strikes really hard right there. You want to stack with your person who's getting hit by Karthus Q because Karthus Q, if it hits them, for example, and you're next to them, it does way less damage. It does, I think, double damage if it's isolated. So you don't want to leave your person who's really low to Karthus to be isolated by a Q. I could ulti in one shot or but I'm low, so it could result in me dying. And big thing about Nocturne ulti is you really need to know flashes. If they have flash or mobility to get away from you, you're gonna have a slight problem. So you have to remember that. I'm picking here a base because I have decent money. We're going to Collector because enemy team is quite squishy, so I can go Collector and just really get that damage buff from it. You can go into Axiom too. I mean, personally for me, I just love more damage in my build. I don't like going that Hextech item. I think this item is really boring and also not that good. What I like to do is go into, you know, sort of Collector build. I think it's really good on Nocturne. I think you're going to do a lot of damage. Lots of damage if you're going to go this bit. So here you just spell shield the Karthus ulti and boom. Negate the damage completely. Obviously, it's a really simple thing to do. Really good in the matchup situation. But sometimes you're going to use your W before to go on the fight. That's going to happen. A very common thing. Spell shield right away just so he doesn't Q me. Go Karthus first because he's no mobility. Or he might die here. Nope. Okay. Very good. Very good. And here you have a lot of decisions. Void Guards are gone. It's Herald. Herald takes a long time. I don't think I'm going to do that unless I was already there and I know Gragas isn't going to move. If Gragas can move, then I might die. So I'm not going to do that. I could do Dragon. Most likely more reasonable to do Dragon here because I have some teammates nearby. So I'll just ping Dragon and say, hey, let's do Dragon. Very simple. Team shouldn't have any objections to it because why? Because it's just such a great idea. We're all together clumped up like little minions ready to do a job. And here you can eat when you're on Dragon. It doesn't really matter. It honestly does no damage, but in this situation, I don't think I'm going to be fighting. I think it's just going to be a base after this. So I can buy my Collector. So after Collector, you can go into more authentic Bruiser build. Usually it's like Death Stance Maw for me personally. So I would go like into like a DD Maw kind of build. You want a lot of it. If you want to just maximize your damage, you can go into Axiom Arc to get the most out of it. I honestly think it's fine too. The enemy team is really squishy. There's no reason for you to stop building, you know, lethality. You might as well just go into Axiom Arc to get the ability haste and ulti reduction, or you can go into like a cleaver or DD at this point. Even though you don't have that much ability haste right now, I understand it's a bit weird because of Ultimate Hunter though. You're gonna get a lot of ultimate ability haste anyways. Realistically though, if you win cleaver, you would only have 20 ability haste more. It's not the biggest like game changer in a way. It's nice, of course, but you can definitely manage with my ability haste. A big reason for that is because the ulti plays we're going to be doing are just going to one shot. So here I always Q. I love the crit animation by Nocturne too. Honestly, Collector giving me that chance to crit them like that is a beautiful thing. So here I'm going to sphere them. Kind of kite around. Stridebreaker. Kite. Spell shield. We have red buff, right? So I think he dies soon. Okay. But the goal is, okay, how do we want to CC them when we land? It's always Stridebreaker right before, because if you slow them with the Stridebreaker and then you hit the Q, it's guaranteed they're going to die. Starting with a fear, you could technically fear them right as you land, but recently with all the changes to his fear thing, it's not reliable because you could easily, people can easily flash Nocturne fear, so I don't start with my E anymore. Very rarely I ever use E while I'm flying in. So the goal is to always hit them right before with a Q and Stridebreaker. At the very least, use Stridebreaker. The very least. You can also cast W while you're flying in case the enemy team has like an instant CC. For example, that Ashe could instant arrow me if I flew in. So what I would do is just use my thing. So here, once I get the Stridebreaker range off, you can see I'm very quick. And if Karthus was to ult me there, what do? We have RW, right? So very beautifully done. Here, I don't think I'm going to keep helping out. I just want to heal on the Herald. You can actually heal a lot while you're doing these sort of objectives. Also, Spell Shield does work on Herald. So here, I could always Spell Shield the Herald auto attack when it does the animation. You'll see it here, I think. So I can Spell Shield this to amplify my damage slightly. Get away from that Lulu. But generally, I itemize for, like, you know, abilities at this point. Cleaver is still fine. This game, honestly, the enemy team is so squishy. I think Axiom Arc could be good. I haven't farmed my camps enough, so I think, what boots do I want? Auto attack. Interesting. Auto attack, MR boots. Their comp does auto relatively, but I really don't know what boots I want. I'm probably just gonna buy my Warhammer. I don't think tier 2 boots are as important before. Tier 2 boots, they've been nerfed quite a bit, so I don't really think they're that great. This game, obviously, I think I'm just really fed. I'm just going to go for the Axiom Arc. And mostly, I'm going to go into like a DD mob build after that. But there's a lot of iterations from it. The Collector second, the Cleaver, going Death Stance and Maul. These are just your core items. You can decide between, you know, Cleaver or Axiom Arc if you want your ability haste item against very squishy people. It really does feel great to have the Axiom, especially if you have one lethality item as well. And I'm always going to be maxing E second just because the fear duration does go up a lot. W maxing second doesn't really do all that much, so don't really waste any points there. Here, I'm pretty much... I could kill anyone at this point. This person here. Karthus could be behind him, but I think it's okay. So you always want to W, Q Stridebreaker into E. Just kite. Very high damage. Even if this guy gets really tanky, it's going to take a while before I'm in a problem situation. And I'm generally not building all lethality when I'm against like a full tank comp because it just doesn't make sense. W right before the Karthus ulti. Once you see Karthus ulti, if you W right away, it's going to run out before the Karthus ulti hits you. So you have to wait at least like 1 second. Just remember that. I've seen some early Ws that pretty much does not do anything. So just remember. Here I'm going to Herald. You can always Herald over walls. I want this to break so I can get money as well. I could ride it over the wall as well. Just after it crashes, you can also take it for another ride as well. Here, I'm going to take it. She took my hero. They took my Shelly. Very ambitious Shelly. Here, I'm going to Spell Shield right away because I think CC's about hit. I'm going to just Alistar auto. Q from far away. Oh my god, I'm arrowed. I might die here because Zed might look to go. I think he's a little coward. That's what I thought, Zed. Go back home. Little coward. And here I have my items. I'm gonna buy my Axiom Arc. I have to run away now. Red jungle item is really good on Nocturne because it applies the slow on your Q. I really enjoy a lot. I don't really want to fight here, 'cause I think if I go in, I'm dead, and she's 100% dead. Sometimes you just have to be willing to let your really awkward teammates die, and it's fine to do that. You can also go ability haste boots a lot of times. I think it's fine to go ability haste boots. This game though, I don't think I need it necessarily. A bit late for that. Most likely I'm probably gonna go into, oh, that's such a weird game. Let's just say Mertrez. Spell shield right after. The reason why, because even if I spell shield, I think I'm gonna get Gragas CC to death, so I'm just gonna try to avoid that. I also think armor boots, this Ashe is really weak. Zed barely auto attack, so I'm not gonna go for that. I forgot to buy blue orb. Just FYI, I usually do buy it. I just forgot. I think he might be in here. I can ulti him, but I'm only gonna ulti him if he flashes. Otherwise, I'm just gonna help kill him like that. I see Ashe in very vulnerable position. I do like that Ashe. I could kill Karthus, but I'd rather kill the Ashe first when I see her. I'm gonna jump on the Ashe. Remember Q, W, Strikebreaker, E. Flashes, just go on her. There she tried to arrow me, and that's what we're talking about. We want to spell shield as we're landing here. And after a couple kills like that, you may have your ulti come back up real quickly. The build's really flexible. If you don't want, if you feel too squishy with this build, I recommend going into, you know, the Cleaver and Death Stance and Maul. That's usually my core build. Honestly, this game I'm still gonna go Death Stance and Maul. I just don't think, I don't like going pure lethality, like all lethality items. I just like getting like maybe this, just because you have so much synergy with Axiom. W, Q, and you can see my ulti's just pretty much back up right after that. I'm gonna ulti in advance here. I'm just gonna hover the fight. I'm gonna ulti onto the Zed afterwards. Here I have my fear going. I'm gonna go on to the Alistar. He could try to burst me, so I have to go on Gragas right away. Chasing might be risky here. I'm gonna have to juke his goal. But here, once I go on Alistar, I'm just gonna fear him. And base. And it's really good into team fights when you're ahead, of course. For Mertrez, here you decide if you want Maw or Death Stance first. Because I already have some MR, I want to get the Armor Pen item. So I'm gonna go into Death Stance. Or sorry, not Armor Pen. Because I have some MR, I'm gonna go into the DD item, the armor item. He also just keeps coming back up. This is sort of like a hybrid item build. I wouldn't say it's like glass cannon. I would say I'm more of like a hybrid build. I'm gonna finish the red here. And this is kind of like an awkward time where there's like nothing going on. You could just go down mid with your team when they're ready, but they're not ready yet, so you just want to farm a bit and then go. Though because I'm such a strong side lane picker, I generally don't want to be just grouped with my team all the time. In situations like this, there are windows where you can just look for picks inside the enemy jungle, inside their side lane when they show. For example, here, Zed might go for another wave. I'll kill him. There is a blue buff up. I like blue. I really do like blue. I may just go for it. And here's Zed shows. So what do we want to do? We want to kill Zed, right? So the goal is to get on him and Strikebreaker right away. And W. And boom. So pretty much what happens there is if you E him and Strikebreaker, most important part, if he ultis you, the E stays on him. So he has to like dash away or anything. But he already used his dash in that situation, so we're good. And yeah, sometimes with this build, because you're spamming a lot of abilities, you will run out of mana, but with blue buff and the ability to have 5 blue buffs on your team, you're not really going to run into that problem. Here we wait a second and then we W. A very good matchup, very easily for us to play it. And I'll be surprised if enemy team doesn't FF. My build would generally end up being Death Stance and Maul. You could easily switch out this item with Cleaver. Build pretty much operates the same. The Collector second just feels really good right now. They do have a nerf for it where it's 50 gold more expensive, but I honestly think that makes no difference. I still think a really, really good item. I recommend on Nocturne. And hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Good luck on the game. Good luck on the Kai.